Hey guys, it's Gary from Peacekeeper's Armory again. This time I got a KR Revenge Darth Maul double staff saber. This video might be a little janky because it's a lot bigger than a normal hilt, so my photo box isn't all that big. So we have a KR Revenge hilt weathered by Scott over at Crucible Custom Props. We have a two Goth 3D chassis, 2 Profi boards, Saber Essentials 2-watt, 24mm speakers, removable 18650 batteries, and NeoPixel connectors for the blade. So I'll try and show you best as I can how these come out. So first you're going to want to take this out. Some of them, they get stuck a little bit. So I used, instead of the 3D printed one, I used the normal 7 or 1 inch adapter to hold the pogo pins. So these 4 secure the chassis in place. Everything else you shouldn't need to touch. So for this one, we'll just undo these right there, and then you kind of just bump it until it gets out. See if I can do this on camera. There you go. Pull it out. And then pull it all the way out like that. So I'll put this off to the side for right now. So right here, you can see it's got a Keep Power 18650 battery in there, Profi board, kill switch, 2 switches right there, and then I got some sanded down 3mm LEDs in there. There's your base, your 2-watt speaker, and then your pogo connector. So turn that on, and then good to go for that. So I'll put that one aside for right now. Let that roll around, and then you're going to do the same for the other side. Take this out. This is also an instructional video for the new owner. Make sure you undo these guys. And then pop this guy out. Boom. So, exactly the same thing. There's your Keep Power, there's your Profi board, speaker, and a kill key. So I just have the Vengeance font on there right now, since it's kind of inspired by a double-bladed saber. We don't have a we don't have a Darth Maul smooth swing font yet. So once that comes out, then obviously that'll be put on here. And for the owner, I will have a suite of cool fonts on here, just because, and colors, just because why not? It has the room for it. You might as well put it on there. Real quick, let me show you. I'm gonna kill that real quick. I'm gonna go get my pick. So, best way to take the battery out, obviously you're going to want the kill switch engaged, so it's off to the, let me see if I get to focus, there you go, it's towards the, I guess we'll go from the reference here, this side with the switch over here. Obviously you can test it to make sure it doesn't turn on. Good to go. I just use a Vader's pick because it actually works really well for taking them out of these holders. I usually put it right up here, pop it out from the positive side. Boom. Good to go. Throw this on the charger that I saw you already bought, and it'll be a nice quick recharge. To plug it in, easy peasy. Just plug that guy in right there. You will hear some weird sounds from the speaker when you plug it into your computer. Once you get that all squared away, that's normal. Don't worry about it. It's because it's not full power. And the what's it called? The audio driver isn't being fully powered, so the speaker is going to sound kind of crackly. Don't worry about that. If you need to, you can use these 2 buttons if your computer doesn't recognize it right away. Otherwise, good to go. Now, I used E6000 under the board about halfway and back on both sides. So, if you need to, the SD card access speed of the cable isn't very fast, at least not right now. So you can just pull this up a little bit and then you can pull that card out. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but it's enough to pull the card out with some tweezers, and then just push it back into place. That way it's still secure pretty well, and it's not going to go anywhere. When you're putting the battery in, obviously positive is going to be up here. I think Goth has you do it a different way, but this ended up being a little bit, I don't call it better, but I liked doing it this way more, where the positive has the side that you cut down to have access to that. So just put the positive side in a little bit first. That way you can kind of spring clip that in there, the negative side, and then make sure that the positive clips all the way, because there's not a whole lot of contact, but that little last click is what gets the full contact on the button. And again, turn it on. Good to go. So both of these should be on. They are. You can see they're both switched to the right side. So when you put these in, obviously you want the buttons to align with these guys right here. Oop, I just dropped it. The buttons to align with the top right there, and the LEDs to align with that one. So get us to focus again. Put it as best you can. As you can see on the inside, the buttons still go in there, so it's actually perfect for the channels. So once you get it pseudo aligned, start putting it in. And when you get to about right here, take your emitter, put it right here. You can see it meets right there, and it won't go any further inside the actual emitter. Use that to gauge how far in to put. Twist this all the way. Good to go. Then you're going to screw these guys in really tight. Now these are all designed to be actual plunger buttons, so they're going to rattle a little bit. You might be able to glue them, but I wouldn't recommend it because you never know if for whatever reason you need to use them. So it's just going to kind of be one of those things. Test. Good to go. These, because of the plunger, how the plungers work, they will change, and sometimes the button won't depress all the way, or it'll press too much and it won't activate because it's always pressed. Just twist it a little bit one way or the other until you get a good feel for it, and then you can turn it off. Or not turn it off, but you can test it until it works well. So right now it's pretty good. And as you can see, I got some Blinkies going on there. They are separately installed on the board, so you can change them, or you can have me change them however you like. Right now they're just operating at a slightly different frequency of being on, so they kind of have a more random looking pattern. So we're going to do it again to the other side. Again, you're going to put the buttons up top, align it with the buttons on the hilt, kind of wiggle it a little bit if it gets stuck, and then put it right to about there, and then use the emitter. Tighten, and then tighten these guys really good. These ones don't work as well by themselves, so definitely make sure you tighten the red ones well, and then you shouldn't have any problems. You want to make your blade, the blade I have right now is Vader's Vault, and it only the one, so I'm sorry I can't show you the full double ignition. But it's really tight in the emitter section. I'm going to sand the inside of it out a little bit just to make it a little easier. But you just want to make sure you don't shove the chassis when you're putting your blade in. Retention screw is going to be somewhere in one of these grooves. Let's see if I can find it on camera. Nope. Let's see if I can find it. There it goes. It's right there. That's the retention screw. Just try not to slam the chassis in because it will push it past the retention. So once you get in there seated properly, put the retention for the blade there, and then you'll be good to go. So when that one started, it's still pretty good. So as you can tell, it's not the loudest in the world, but the cool thing about the Double Saber is, or at least this font in particular, I haven't tried with other fonts, when you turn them both on, the hum is exactly the same. so it actually seems like it amplifies the sound. And I'm holding it in the middle there, which is where most of the venting is, so which is pretty awesome. There is extra venting right here. I haven't found moving the O-ring over to give much more sound, so I kind of just leave it in place. So there's the holes there, and then there's these really tiny holes, which you can kind of see underneath there, which give you most of your sound. The speakers sit pretty much right behind this line, so it's a really well-crafted saber. I think it's awesome. Really don't want to let it go. But here's the hole. I didn't order the piece because I wasn't going to do it myself. But when you do it, obviously you're going to kind of want to put that fake cover tech there. It'd be a little complicated to get a real one in there just because of how large the hole is. But if you really want, you probably could. But there you can see the board right in there, so you're definitely going to want to cover that with that fake one at the very least. And you said it's going to be on display, so with, you know, obviously some playing around. So that's pretty much it. I'll throw a blade in there just to see what it looks like on camera, and then I'll be in contact with you, the owner, for what else you want me to put on there for the time being until we can get you that actual mall sound font. Hopefully K-Sith will do that. Hint, hint. And it's just gonna roll, so whatever. So to do this, let's see. Let's turn this off. Oh, and one of the cool things I put on here. You have to put that on there. So this is the entire Duel of the Fates soundtrack. I think it's like 5 minutes or so, maybe 4.5. And then obviously you can play around with the saber at the same time. As much as I want to hear it, I'll turn it off right now. Alright, so I'm just going to put the blade on real quick. Again, mine's really tight, so I'm just going to do it off camera so I don't mess anything up. Alright. So, I'm going to go against my better judgment and actually just bring the camera back a little bit. Kind of show you how my setup is. Huh. But, so, turn it on. And it looks awesome. Again, it's a little more orangey on camera, but with the white ignition, it just looks absolutely gorgeous. There you go, that's a little bit better representation of how it looks. Again, it's still kind of orange-yellow, but this is just solid red. And then obviously the other side is exactly the same. So, that's pretty much the hilt. I hope you enjoy it, and to everybody viewing, I hope you can see how awesome you can make these with relative ease. Install wasn't too bad. Thanks, Goth, for the chassis, and hope to see you in the next install.